A very warm welcome to you on this week's edition of Business Incorporated. I am Bolaji Akinwale. On the program, we will be taking a look at investing in Nigeria and plans by the government to increase on the level of success recorded so far in that regard. My guest is the Executive Secretary and the Chief Executive Officer at the Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission, Mrs. Saratu Umar. We'll be listening to her shortly. On our headlines, the federal government says it has signed a memorandum of understanding to provide more houses for Nigerians. We'll begin on the headlines with the signing of a memorandum of understanding by the federal government that would ensure the provision of 10,000 housing units for Nigerians willing to be part of the mortgage scheme.
Okay. Thank you. Look at the camera, Jack. Okay, and let me shake your hand. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
The Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, explains that over $1 billion will be invested to make the plan successful. She expects the investments to create more jobs and boost activities in other areas of the economy.
It marks a crucial milestone in a process that began in January 2014 when His Excellency President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, launched the Nigerian Mortgage Refinance Corporation. NMRC is primarily a liquidity facility designed to expand the primary and secondary mortgage markets by bridging the lending cost of mortgages so that lending institutions can lend more and for tenures of up to 20 years.
Contrary to reports that non-payment of outstanding debts to petroleum marketers is responsible for the fuel scarcity around the country, the Ministry of Finance says that as of December 2014, the federal government paid petroleum marketers about 320 billion naira. At a meeting with journalists in the nation's capital, Abuja, the Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, explained government's commitment to paying all benefits accruing to the marketers as at when due.
The financing issues are well in hand. Agreed with them, and this is not the issue at the moment. We've discussed with the marketers, agreed with them how we are going to go about it. There is no need for panic buying. I just appeal to any unpatriotic elements who want to cause panic that they should desist from doing that and let Nigerians go about their business normally.
The Securities and Exchange Commission is intensifying efforts to entrench transparency and accountability in the capital market by strict monitoring of financial operations to curb corrupt practices. A new anti-corruption transparency and monitoring unit, in collaboration with the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, has the task to ensure proper ethics and trackable growth in the Nigerian financial sector in line with global standards. Senior manager in the office of the Director General of the Commission and a member of the monitoring unit, Bridget Amakbo, said Nigeria's status in the corruption index is a serious cause for concern, which must be rectified. The Securities and Exchange Commission on Tuesday unveiled an anti-corruption and transparency monitoring unit to overcome the menace of public corrupt practices.
Corruption has become a way of life which has threatened our present and the future of our children. Suffice me to say here that no segment of the society is immune from its scourge. It must then be the concern of every home, family, institutions, ministries, departments, and agencies. We must persuade members of staff, the Nigerian capital market, the society, to perceive the danger that corruption poses to our well-being and to enable us take our rightful place in the Committee of Nations.
And finally on the headlines, the president of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, retained its position as Africa's richest man on the 2015 Forbes billionaires list, despite the loss of $10.3 billion of his fortune, dropping by 44 places in the world ranking. The list includes 4 other Nigerians, Mike Adenuga, Folorunsho Alakija, Femi Otedola, and Abdulsamad Rabiu. Otedola returned to Forbes' list of billionaires for the first time since 2009, following a sharp rise in the share price of its petroleum marketing company, Forty Oil plc, despite the drop in oil prices in 2014. It was briefly featured on the list in 2009, but dropped out of the rankings shortly afterwards when the shares of this African Petroleum plc plunged by more than 80%. According to Forbes, Dangote, who currently ranks 67th from 23rd in 2014, saw its fortune dropped to $14.7 billion from $25 billion last year, propelled downward by a weaker naira and shrinking demand for cement, its largest asset. Adenuga ranked 393 with a net worth of $4.2 billion, down from 325 in 2014 when its net worth was calculated at $4.6 billion. Alakija dropped to the 949th position with a net worth of $2 billion from 687th on the billionaires list last year when she was worth $2.5 billion. Otedola was ranked 1,741, while Rabiu ranked 1,372. Both have the net worth of $1 billion each. While Otedola moved up, Rabiu lost $200 million in the space of 12 months. Also, 138 people from the 2014 list dropped out of the ranking altogether. The rank of the world's wealthiest expanded to a record 1,826 this year, with an aggregate net worth of $7.05 trillion, up from $6.4 trillion a year ago. The total includes 290 newcomers, 71 of them hail from China. A record 46 among the billionaires are under the age of 40. Bill Gates is once again the richest man on the planet. A title is held for 16 of the past 21 years. His fortune grew by $3.2 billion since last year to $79.2 billion. Still ahead of the program, we will take a look at the investment climate in Nigeria. What plans do the government have to attract investors into the country? These are more after the break.